Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm SocietySucks and today I'm checking out Life of a Gladiator by Mitsi Studio. I'm not actually sure if gladiators had it good or bad. Obviously they fought in the Colosseum, but were they basically just fated to die there? Or did they actually have a chance to survive? I don't know, let's see.
The origin of gladiatorial combat might go back to the 3rd century BC, with blood rites staged at the funerals of wealthy nobles. When distinguished aristocrats died, their families would hold graveside bouts between enslaved people or condemned prisoners, as a kind of macabre eulogy for the virtues the person had demonstrated in life. Let's hope those fighters didn't have their own slaves to fight on their funerals. Would be a very busy day for the undertaker. These funeral rituals increased in scope during the reign of Julius Caesar, who staged bouts between hundreds of gladiators in honor of his deceased father and daughter. The games became hugely popular, to a point where people probably didn't really give a shit anymore whose funeral it was. They just wanted to enjoy some good old carnage, go home and eat grapes on a stone bench. With the gladiatorial games,
I guess this was entertainment back then. Now we just watch YouTube videos.
A giant amphitheater in the center of Rome. It was named the Flavian Amphitheater, better known as the Colosseum. During the many centuries of gladiatorial games, many people came, fought, and died in the Roman Colosseum. Because of the immense popularity of the Colosseum and the games, it was clear to many gladiators of their imminent fate. Many of the fighters knew days before if they were fighting a regular gladiator or a wild animal. Therefore, your survival chances as a gladiator strongly depended on your status.
Ooh.
There were some people who chose to be a gladiator, but most of them were enslaved people or prisoners.
Oh, okay. So I guess that answers my question.
Chances of survival could be, well, not so good. Criminals were also sent to the Colosseum to earn their freedom. This might sound promising,
Earn their freedom.
but you can probably guess where this is going. These fighters had little to no value, and were mostly slaughtered by better trained opponents.
Yup.
Or they became a bestiarius, meaning they were eaten alive by lions, crushed by elephants.
So this was basically just a way to get rid of criminals, while giving the population some entertainment.
Slaves, prisoners of war, or criminals. Despite having to endure the dangers of daily gladiatorial fighting, these gladiators were trained in special fighting schools. There were people involved who invested in time, money, and resources to get these fighters to become highly skilled in fighting, but also in survival. If these fighters would last as short as the average Qatar
then they wouldn't really be worth it.
That would be too much of an expense for most investors. It would be too costly to just throw a bunch of these expensive gladiators in front of a group of hungry lions. Sorry, Mr. Criminal, looks like your number is up now. Most of the games consisted of two gladiators fighting each other. The audience would decide in the end if both gladiators fought bravely. If so, most of the times the defeated gladiator would receive mercy and live to fight another day. If the emperor or audience was displeased, they would give the victorious gladiator a sign to basically finish the poor chap. On special events, large group battles were staged to give the audience a proper show. Wild animals were mixed in to spice things up a bit more, while criminals and thugs were torn to pieces. More skilled fighters with long-distance weapons could easily pick off a few lions.
Ooh.
Sometimes the animals were set to fight each other. On one occasion, an elephant was fighting an enraged rhinoceros where the elephant poked the eye out of its adversary. Not your casual family circus act you would bring your kids to.
I wonder if people brought kids to watch this.
Bestias was a game where two guys stood on a seesaw with their arms tied to their waist. Wild animals would be set loose into the arena. The audience could then place bets on who would be eaten alive first. Obviously, the winner of the game didn't enjoy his victory for long because of the
He was gonna die too. Yeah.
Women were also sent in the arena to fight. They fought
Really?
mostly other women. And on a few occasions, they battled a group of dwarves armed with meat cleavers. There was no point on that day wearing a lot of upper body armor, I guess. The battles involving women as gladiators ended when Emperor Septimius Severus banned their participation. A shame there were no women's rights back then to keep them in the game. During the reign of Emperor
I don't think
Titus,
women would be very
Colosseum
mad
was
about
flooded
being
with more
banned
than
from
1
this.
million gallons of water.
What? Wait, what?
During the reign of Emperor Titus, the Colosseum was flooded with more than 1 million gallons of water.
I didn't know about
This
this.
created a water mass of 5 feet deep, enough to stage large-scale naval reenactments which were called Normatia. Multiple
That's
boats
awesome.
were floated around, attacking each other by boarding the vessels, slaughtering and drowning their foes, until only one faction was left standing or floating.
This would be
These
so
battles
cool
were
to
one of the
actually
largest
witness.
events the Colosseum organized. However, the flooding and draining of the arena took too much time and resources. Subsequently, the underground drainages were replaced with animal cages to facilitate more animal fights. After many years of gladiatorial games, it was not uncommon for emperors to participate in the games themselves.
Oh,
During the reign of
what?
Marcus Aurelius Commodus, it was the emperor himself who entered the arena to fight along his gladiator colleagues. This sounds like a brave thing to do, until you consider he mostly fought physically disabled people, or people who were instructed to give their lives. His sadistic creativity led to multiple battles orchestrated in a way that they resembled something more of an execution than an actual fair fight. I guess the emperor didn't really get the notion that beating up physically disabled people publicly is not going to make you look very cool.
Yeah.
While most people who died in the Colosseum were slaves, criminals, or prisoners of war, there were also Roman citizens who voluntarily became a gladiator. In Roman culture, a successful gladiator was treated like a superstar. Their successes were quickly picked up by the crowd, and this could boost the social rank of the gladiator to new heights, equaling that of many Roman nobles. They would enjoy the presence of women, since they were looked upon as the embodiment of the ultimate Roman sex symbol. Because the profits earned from battles increased alongside the improved status of the gladiator, these fights would only be reserved for specific events and would not be exposed to any unnecessary dangers. If the fighter was defeated, he still had the advantage of potentially having the crowd on his side. For any judgment call with a thumb up, thumb closed situation, this could be handy. Nevertheless, the true dangers of living a life as a gladiator were not to be ignored.
I mean, yeah, you can
Over
die
time,
any
many of
day.
these fighters even formed unions with their own elected leader. When a warrior fell in battle, these groups would ensure that their comrades received a proper funeral, including a grave inscription
Well,
honoring
that's
their
nice.
achievements in the arena. If the deceased had a wife and children, they would also see that the family received monetary compensation.
Ooh.
When you think of gladiators, I bet you are not instantly thinking of life insurance policies. But there you go. With over hundreds of years of gladiatorial games, some estimates put the total kill count of the Roman Colosseum around 400,000 souls. While most of the people that entered the arena as a gladiator would eventually die, in a few cases, gladiators did earn their freedom and set foot outside the circular walls as a free man or woman. Despite the hopes of being one of the few to survive as a gladiator, for some, the attraction of the Colosseum itself, the games, the dangers, its victories, and overall the mighty roar of 50,000 people screaming their name would truly be their one and only destiny.
I can only imagine the spectacle and how awesome it must have been to actually witness that, especially when the arena was flooded. Oh, that would be awesome. But yeah, things like this don't happen anymore because it's brutal and a little... Actually, no. Is it inhumane? No, it isn't. It's just people killing each other. It's not that crazy. Humans have been killing each other for thousands of years. It's nothing new, nothing abnormal. And most of them were criminals anyway. They were scum. We should have this kind of stuff for criminals today. You know, if you like SA somebody or kill somebody, you go into a fucking coliseum to just fight or get eaten by animals. We should bring coliseums back. We should bring gladiators back. I think it would solve a lot of problems. You know, instead of having to pay taxpayer money for criminals who go to jail, get released, commit more crimes, go back to jail, we could just instead kill them and have some entertainment too. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you want to see more reactions, check out this video right here. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.